Hi friends, welcome back to another video. It is February, which means that it is the month of love, and I thought I would talk about my top 10 favorite romance novels so that you can read them during this month of love. So these are my top 10, so my 5-star reads of romance. I am an avid romance reader. It is the main genre that I read and talk about because I love it so much. I lap it up. Give me a predictable ending all the time. I love it. Anyway, so I thought I would share some of my top picks for you. As I said, these are all 5-star reads of romance for me, all for different reasons, so I thought I'd get into them. I am going to start off with the books that I have the physical copy of, and then we can go into the other books that I've either listened to or read on my Kindle, all that stuff. So I think I have 5 of each, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 of each. So let's get started. Also, I'm using a microphone today, which feels very profesh of me, but honestly, my husband's home and he's watching TV, so I thought I'd use the microphone today. Anyway, let's get into it in no particular order whatsoever. Okay, so we have The Hating Game. This is an enemies to lovers. I love enemies to lovers. It is my favorite trope, so it will always and forever be. My 5-star reads will always be an enemies to lovers. Anyway, it is The Hating Game. The movie in particular I have watched probably 10 times, to be honest with you. I love the movie. I love Lucy Hale, so she's great. If you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie. It's phenomenal. But the book is obviously just as good, and it is a 5-star read for me. We have our two rival lovers. They work in publishing. They are complete opposites. He is a very strict and formal, and everything, it has to be perfect and to a T, and she's complete opposite. She's so fun and lovely and bubbly, and she bakes cakes and she has a fun time, and she loves this little Smurf village, and she's just really fun and she loves everyone, and he's just not that at all. Anyway, so they play little games with each other all the time. So it says at the back of this, it says they have the mirror game, the staring game, the HR game, and Lucy can't let Josh beat her at anything. And then a job opportunity comes up within the agency to grow and to go to the next step, so they have to fight each other for this spot because they're both amazing. Anyway, so yeah, it's just good. The tension in it is really, really good. Obviously the book has a lot more detail than the movie does, but as I said, I love both of them just as much. Okay, then we have kind of a similar thing, which is not in my book. I'm so excited for this author. What's her name? Katie Holt. I'm so excited for Katie Holt to release her upcoming book. I think it comes out in May, I do believe. The fact that this is her debut novel and it was a 5-star read for me is fantastic. Go her. But I really, really loved this. So we have two rival writers. They're both in uni. And yeah, again, they hate each other so much. And again, they have to work together on a particular project, and that project brings them close together. But I love it because as they are writing this book, so in this book they are writing a book, that's their project, both have to put their expertise into the book. So she's great at writing romance, he's great at writing literary fiction. In the book, and then in them writing the book, you follow the characters within that book that they're writing. Anyway, and I love it because they're putting their own, the characters in the book are actually them, and they don't realize it until a little bit later on. Anyway, so I do love that, and I love that element that we it was basically I was reading 2 books in one book, and it was fantastic. But yeah, it's a really cute, fun book, and it was again a little bit of a grumpy meets sunshine aspect to it, which I also love in a book. Okay, then we have book lovers. Again, two people that hate each other. So in this book, we have our main character, Nora. Nora and her sister go on a little bit of a holiday, and they go to this small town, which is a romance novel is based on that small town. So they head to this small town to get a little bit away from life. Nora is a literary agent. She is she has a lot going on, and then her sister also has like 3 kids and a husband, and she just needs a bit of a break. So they go on this little holiday to this small town, and they both hate small town romances, especially Nora. She's like, doesn't understand them. Like, she's not going to leave the big city to come to a small town. There's a rival editor that she hates. He is also in town for a particular reason. Anyway, they meet up, and then they get to talk about a book that they might be working on together, and how much they hate small towns and all those things. But yeah, so it's like a small town romance because it's just based in a small town, but it's also not a small town romance. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what she was going for here, of like, small town romances are so cringy, and like, no one believes them because who's leaving the big city to come move to a country town and fall in love? So it's basically 2 people from like New York that have come on a holiday to a small town, and then ended up falling in love in the small town. I recently reread this book. So when I first read this book, it was honestly sitting at like a 2 or 3 star rating for me. I reread it, and it was perfect. Like, the banter in this is phenomenal. Love some good banter, but yeah, it was literally great. I love this. Someone said that the Schitt's Creek for book nerds, and it literally is. It is so funny, and I'm just laughing and like kicking my feet and giggling the entire time because of how silly and funny it is. The 4th book, which also was my top book for 2025, which I cannot get enough of, is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This book was a 5-star read for me. It had every single possible emotion. It was just fantastic. I have underlined and highlighted so much in this book. It truly was one of those books that kind of just sits with you, stays with you, and makes you think a lot about life. So yeah. It is not, I don't think it has like a particular overarching trope. Like, it's not enemies to lovers, it's not friends to lovers. It's just 2 people that met, fell in love pretty much instantly, and couldn't really make it work because of the distance. So we have Samantha and Xavier, and Samantha meets Xavier because Xavier is a vet. So I think she takes in her dog, and she ends up meeting him, and she's like, oh wow, he is really hot. And they go on a date, but little does Xavier know that she is moving the next day. So yeah, she kind of packs up and moves, and he's like, what the heck? I really liked that date. What's going on? But she moves because her mum has dementia and it's getting really bad, and the family can't like deal with it, so she has to be there to help out. Anyway, so as I said, there are this couple that's just like, they can't make it work. Everything seems to be going wrong. Everything seems to be tearing them apart. They're long distance, but they really, really want to try and make this work. Yeah, but in all of that, you see the power of love, I guess, and how beautiful it is in every aspect, whether that's a couple or a family or friends. It is like, love is such an amazing thing. So that's truly why I loved. That's truly why I enjoyed this book so much, because it wasn't just this book where something is made up. This was, to me, it was like such a real life scenario where it was these 2 people that fell in love, couldn't really make it work, tried everything. Things are falling apart in their lives. They have like the mum that's sick, all of those things. And there's so many beautiful quotes in it. I will just find this one towards the end. Alright, so it says, Mum was standing in the door of the gazebo watching us. She was beaming from ear to ear. She knew, something ingrained that told her she was seeing true love. Her heart remembering, even though her brain had forgotten. She didn't know who I was or who he was, but she still knew what love was. Maybe that's the last thing we forget. Or we never forget it at all. Not really. We lose the words to say it, we lose the ability to show it, but we never lose the ability to feel it or recognize it when we see it. Love is the brightest color in a grey world. And that's how the book ends, and it's just, I know, sorry, spoiler alert. But that's the kind of book that this is. Like, it is just so good, and this was a freaking 10-star rating for me. And it was, yeah, my favorite book out of 2025. The last book of the physical copy books is The Things We Leave Unfinished. This, again, I have read, I think, 3 times now, and I loved it every single time. Again, it's a little, 2 people that hate each other. Yeah, okay. So we have, this is also one of those books where it's like two books in one. So it flicks back from the past to the present. We also follow like a war story in this as well, which is also really, really interesting. So we have Georgia Stanton discovers that her late grandmother Scarlett, the infamous romance author, didn't get the chance to finish her last book. She is determined to share her story, but first it needs to be written. Enter Noah Harrison, the best-selling romance author of his generation. When Georgia meets him, she is distraught. Although he's charming and handsome, there's nothing beneath the surface. But as they start working together, Georgia begins to see that there might be more to Noah that meets the eye. Together they realize that Scarlett was saving the greatest love story of all until last, her own. While serving in the Second World War, she fell in love with the handsome and enigmatic pilot Jamison. So we follow Scarlett and Jamison and their love story in World War II. So we followed them, as well as Georgia and Noah, who was helping her write this book. So she was kind of like, she doesn't believe that Noah can write romance like her grandma, and because she knows her grandma so well, she wants to help him write this novel love story and make sure that he gets it right. And then they're also like wanting to produce a movie, and there's like a whole bunch of like rival going on. Anyway, we find out so much more, and the plot twist in this was insane. When I read it for the first time, I did not see it coming at all. And it is written by the amazing Rebecca Yarros, so you just know it's going to be a good book. You know, if you've read Fourth Wing, you already know. I also got her book over here, The Last Letter, that I recently read. That was also fantastic. So she is just a great author. This was one of her earlier books. Yeah, and I love this. As I said, I've read it 3 times. Each time it has been like a 5-star read for me. Right, moving on to our non-physical books. We have The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This is the first Ali Hazelwood book that I had picked up, as I have read it multiple times. I cannot wait for the movie to come out. I am so freaking excited about it. Yeah, it's just one of those books that I've read over and over again, and funnily enough, it was a book that got me back into reading, like falling in love with reading again. So it was a very early on book that I had picked up and read, and I read it multiple times, and I bought it on my phone, actually. I didn't have a Kindle, and I didn't go out and buy the book. I just brought it on my phone, and yeah, so I don't know if you've read a book on your phone before, but you must love the book to read it on your phone. So we have Adam and Olive, and Adam is a professor, and Olive, she's a bit chaotic. Anyway, wow, okay, but she is also a scientist. Yeah, so she's kind of in the hall, and she sees this guy that she had liked or dated or something. Anyway, and she like panics and just kisses the first guy that she sees, which ends up being Adam. Anyway, I don't know. Adam in my mind is just like the cutest, sweetest, funniest man. Anyway, she kisses him, and then they end up having like this fake dating trope, because obviously other people see her, and then they're like, what the heck, are you dating the professor? And she's like, yeah, of course I'm dating the professor. Not really. Anyway, so Adam is lovely and just goes along with the plan. There's a big science fair coming up, and she has to prove her skills, and he is just always there supporting her and being lovely. But of course, because now she's with the professor, everyone kind of thinks that she's slept her way to the top. Yeah, so there's a lot of drama that goes on, but I truly love this book, and I think it's written really, really well. If you know Ali Hazelwood, you know she's a phenomenal writer. The banter is great in it. The chemistry in it, funnily enough, because it's science, the chemistry in it is great. Yeah, it's just a great time, and it always makes me like giggly. Another Ali Hazelwood book, which was the Problematic Summer romance book. I read this last year as well, and also rated that 5 stars. This was a really fun book. I would say it's quite like a fun summer romance read. It is based in Italy. We have our girl and our guy. There is a very big age gap between them. I believe it's 12 years difference. But yeah, they fly to Italy for the girl's brother's wedding. Guy in this, our male main character, he is the best man, of course, and he has kind of had this thing for the sister, like our female main character. He's kind of had a bit of a thing. He's always been there for her. She'll like randomly call, and he'll be the one that answers the phone, like those kind of things. Anyway, so there's always been this thing, but he's kind of like, well, she's so young. She's only like 22. She's just starting out of life, and I'm older, and, you know, she needs to make mistakes and she needs to do all this stuff. And like, why would she go for me when she can have like a young, hot 25-year-old? But why would anyone want that? Because there's a 12-year age gap, like, honestly. And it is just fun because you're obviously they're at the wedding in Italy, but it's like a week affair. I recently picked up the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams. I didn't think I would actually like this series, but I love love this series. This is so good. I'm up to the very last book in the series. So in this series, we follow a family that live in a small town called Rome, Kentucky. There are 4 siblings. So the first book, When in Rome, follows the brother and his love story, and then it goes on and follows the next 3 sisters. Anyway, I've had such a fun time with this series. I truly have. The one that I have liked over all of them so far is Practice Makes Perfect. We follow Annie and Will in this book, and so we have Annie, who is a florist, and then Will, who is the bodyguard to someone in particular. So Annie, she's 30 and she's very shy, she's quiet, she's still a virgin. She goes on this date with this guy and he thinks like she's so boring. All she can talk about is flowers. It's like boring, but poor Annie, she's 30, she's never had sex before. All she wants to do is be a mum and be married, and she believes that love is forever and it's happily ever afters and all that stuff. Anyway, and then Will is completely opposite. He doesn't believe in marriage. He comes from a bit of a broken family. He's like cool, tough guy. He has like tattoos everywhere. He doesn't really want to stay in one place for too long. Anyway, so Annie kind of hires him to help her with her dating life. And, of course, things start to happen, because she's actually really good, and she's actually really interesting. And he's actually really cute, and he's actually really hot, and he's actually really sweet. So, yeah. Anyway, I just really liked this book. I think my only problem with it is I don't think that Annie should be 30. A bit unrealistic for Annie to be 30. I think it'd be fine if she was like 25, but for her to be 30... and kind of not very good at dating or never had sex before, I don't know. I don't think it was really like believable in that sense. Not saying that it's anything wrong at all to be 30 and to be a virgin and all of those things. Perfectly fine. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was just little bit unrealistic. And then everyone in her family thinks like this. She's this saint and this little angel and this delicate little butterfly, and she hates it because she's like an avid romance reader and that's all she thinks about. She loves like a pirate romance. Anyway, I just thought that she was super cute, but just not 30. Okay, hi, Editing Nat here. I'm sorry I forgot to end off the vlog. I also lost 2 clips of footage for the last 2 books, so I apologize for that, but I hope that you had fun watching this and that maybe you have some more book recs on here as well. Yeah, and read all the romance that you possibly can before Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed. These were all of my favorite romance books. As you can tell, there is a theme. I do love me some enemies to lovers. Alright, so bye.